Hey everybody, my name's Adam Brous,
I'm Scott Moppin.
and this is Solutions from the Multiverse, where we bring you a new solution every week to your happy earballs.
So thanks for joining us, and come by each Tuesday morning. We'll have a new episode ready for you. Here we go.
Well, hey Scott,
Hello.
good to see you.
Good to be seen.
You're
Thank
looking
you.
fit as
Oh,
per usual.
Thank you.
Very fit.
We're a couple of fit people now.
Yeah, I've been doing some squats. I've been doing CrossFit again.
You've been eating your vegetables. You've been doing CrossFit
Yeah,
again?
little bit. Yeah, I did CrossFit like during COVID, and then it sort of stopped because I got banned low key. Then I found another gym.
What?
Where I was not. No, we're gonna glaze over that. We're gonna glaze over getting banned from CrossFit.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Not interested at all.
Cool.
Uh-huh. Sure. There's no story.
There really
whatsoever.
isn't. I was just doing
Too strong?
the moves. I was too strong for CrossFit, and they were like, "You have to leave."
You did one push up, and they were like, "It's perfect. It's perfect.
It's everything.
You don't need to be here anymore.
Please
you
leave.
can.
You're banned.
You're dismissed. You're done. You've reached the end of fitness.
We refuse to train you anymore.
No. Sir, would you train us? And you're
was-
like, I didn't come here for that. They're like, then you have to go because you make us look bad.
I wish it were something that positive. It
What
was
was it?
more like I was weak and I had this like wrist pain that I thought was carpal tunnel. Turns out it was like tendonitis, and I've since sort of cured myself. But back then I had like this pain in my hands and just weakness. And also I'm just like very tall and just taller than like everybody. And so they were saying like do the moves a certain way.
Right.
And I like didn't feel safe. Like I felt I was going to injure myself if I did them the exact way that they told me.
Sure.
So I just would like modify what they would do. Very little modifications, but that like we were supposed to put the bar above our heads and do a squat.
Uh-huh.
I couldn't do that, so I put the bar on my shoulders and did the same squat. And literally when I did that, one of the coaches came up to me and said, "You know, if you're not going to do the moves the way I tell you, you can't come to any of my classes anymore. Just don't come to my classes." Which I thought was bizarre and extreme. So when I went and told like the boss type person, like, "Hey, this coach like totally disrespected me and like told me that I couldn't adjust the movements for like my own safety," he literally sided with the coach. He was like, "Well, if that's what the coach said, then yeah, I guess you can't sign up for any of her classes anymore." And she taught classes like 3 times a day, so there was only like 2 other classes each day that I could have gone to.
Did they high five and call you like
I
a
guess.
wimp?
Yeah, right.
They're
Look
like,
at that
look
loser.
at this. Look at this wimp.
Yeah. So today I thought we'd do something a little differently, Scott. I thought I'd bring you along on my journeys through the multiverse.
Oh.
Yeah, I could open the portal.
It is summer, so it's time for vacation.
That's right. We're going to do a little well, we're not going to go anywhere. We're going to be
You
exactly where
said
we are.
You were going to
just
bring me along.
I know, but technically we'll be physically latitude, longitude in the
Technically,
same
if you say you're going to
coordinate.
bring me somewhere and I say I'm ready to go and you try to correct me and you're like, we're not going anywhere, I'm going to get a little persnickety.
You're
What?
confused. It's okay. It's your first time traversing the multiverse.
All right, so bringing me nowhere. Go ahead. What are you doing?
Same latitude, longitude,
Sure.
different universe. So that counts,
different
right? As different.
Same latitude, same longitude, latitude, different attitude.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Is that
Bring
what
a
we're
different
doing?
Attitude. Yeah.
Okay.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to this other universe, and then we're not gonna. I've already been there, so I know what the solution is.
Okay.
And I've asked the other Adam to just leave us alone because it'd be too confusing to have 2 Adams talking and you don't want
dangerous.
that. No one wants that.
Have you seen
So-
Time Cop? I think
Yeah,
you'll get a real
yeah.
sticky.
And his life is like not good, so we don't want him around. Like that Adam screwed up his life completely, so we don't need him around.
You're saying not like this one.
No,
Okay,
this
okay,
Adam,
cool.
I'm like a middle of the pack Adam. There's other Adams who are like way like successful and like, oh my God.
You're
And then
average.
there's like
Adam.
Adams who are like way down. You know, I'm like average Adam. I'm
You would
average
say
in
you're
some
the
ways. Yeah.
you're the mean Adam,
No, I'm a nice
but like
Adam.
in a
I'm
math.
nice
No,
Adam.
I'm saying in a math way.
No,
like,
I'm very nice. I'm
no,
not
in a math,
mean.
you're the mean Adam. As in,
I've made a few choices as an Adam that put me in the middle of the pack. Let's just put it that way. A few
A few real middle of the pack choices.
Real. Okay, so let's go through the portal, and then I can sort of tell you about that universe. I guess maybe this isn't the right universe to do this with, but let's try it, and maybe we'll do it in the future more when it's more.
All right, I'm in. Hey, what's
more
that big
illustrated.
glowing?
You don't have to make that noise. We just walk.
No,
through.
I do have to make that noise.
For you, it's new. Yeah.
Mandatory.
Yeah. Okay, so in this universe, what's different about this universe is, among other things, that a few years ago, when in our universe, it's very similar universes. The only thing is different is that a few years ago, when our Democrats were trying to do the Build Back Better plan, remember that?
Yeah.
This universe, instead, their Democrats did a Bill of Rights for children.
Okay.
And because they did that, it was a massive success politically, because they were able to get
right.
Even some Republicans to join it, because the Republicans wanted to seem pro-child.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And they were able to get politically, they were able to win elections because of the success of being a pro-child, pro-family party. They were able to wrestle away from the Republicans the perception that the Republicans were pro-family, and instead now the Democrats are clearly the most pro-family party in this universe. Yeah.
Interesting episode of Sliders. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So
what is in
we can talk about
what is
it.
in the Children's Bill of Rights would be the obvious first question that I would have.
Well,
first of all, congratulations everyone here.
Yes.
Good job.
So great. All the children are protected and safe.
Yeah. How's that climate change go? Oh, still okay, cool. Well, good luck with that.
No, so they actually were able to include climate change in the Children's Bill of Rights. Well, they were able to, in addition to what's been done with the IRA, right, the Inflation Reduction
Irish
Act, which has a lot of, yeah, you got to keep those separate, which has a lot of provisions for climate change stuff, not as much as we need. Okay. They were able to add even more into through the Children's Bill of Rights, because children have the right to
fix the climate.
Now,
we don't let them
environment.
We just don't let them fix the climate.
Today we don't care about. We don't care about children, because the Republicans cosplay as caring about children, and the Democrats say that they pay lip service to caring about children.
Sure,
but then neither party actually commits really to protecting children. And so, if the Democrats actually did it,
because the children have no rights, Adam.
They don't vote.
They don't have any rights.
They don't vote.
Nobody's given them a Bill of Rights, and so we don't have to protect them.
Right.
Is that where you're going?
Yeah, but it turns out that there's this latent, or even sometimes very publicly clear value in American political, people, that they really care about children. Baby boomers who are old, they care about children, their grandparents, their parents themselves.
Almost too much.
If you care about this, beloved, political people love the suburban vote, right? They want this suburban middle class vote. Suburbanites all have kids. They care about kids. They want their kids to be protected.
They all have kids. Let's not say they necessarily care about those kids, but they all all have kids.
They're
a
part of their lives. The children are part of their lives, and they might want their children to be easier to deal with. Which,
they definitely want
that. If the kids were safer and better provided for, right, then it would be better. So one thing that this Bill of Rights did was it made permanent the child tax credit, which was so popular during COVID. This became part of that bill, right?
Okay.
Which was a huge boon and win for Democrats, because it otherwise would have been a huge loss for, in our universe, people got given that tax credit under Trump, and now they got it removed under Biden. So for them, felt like actually Biden took away their tax credit for children. So it reinforced this idea that Biden was behind. So that was one thing. The other thing is, they were able to put in climate change provisions because it's a right of children to have a climate that's predictable and livable, and not, just like a Mad Max barren wasteland full of refugees, right?
Yeah, because one of the rights in the Children's Bill of Rights will be you have to get the climate right. Like that's now your job is to fix the climate for us, the older.
Right.
Yeah, we couldn't do it. So
So the children
see
have to
what-
go
yeah.
do it
yeah.
instead
their-
of the old people doing it.
Turns out the climate is made of tiny spaces that need small hands and little arms to reach in and
So
fix it.
Snowpiercer, is that what you're
Snowpiercer.
describing?
It's Snowpiercer logic.
Snowpiercer.
Uh-huh.
Okay, good.
Totally.
They could have called this the Snowpiercer Act. The SPA. Very pro SPA group here.
So okay, so what else? The right
what
to
else? What are
freedom
some-
of speech, is that in there?
Well, that's already there. We already have that from the First Amendment. Also,
What
there's
about-
nothing about children in particular that they need that. Their speech is usually quite garbled, actually.
Oh,
the
okay.
speech
So
of
they
children.
don't. They probably
Yeah.
don't need.
Right.
Do they have the right to bear arms as children?
They do have the right to bear arms. No, they
Is
don't.
that part?
No, they don't. But what's
What-
important is gun control, right? Because not gun control for the hunter in Montana who wants to own a bunch of guns, but gun control as it pertains specifically to the rights of children, which currently the greatest cause of death among children is gun violence. That's the highest cause of death among people under 18, which is bananas. I mean, that's completely bananas, right? I mean, you and I don't have to argue about
It's
that. We both
depressing.
agree already, right?
Of course.
So, in this bill, Democrats very carefully crafted gun control measures that would only affect children being affected by gun violence. It wouldn't affect any kind of, whatever militant crazy people who like guns, gun nuts who are having their guns. It wouldn't affect them at all. It just affects children being affected by gun violence, which
Okay.
is very hard to argue against,
pretty-
even as for gun
Some people
gun
are not, but
supporters.
it's very universal. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty universal. So these were able to be passed. And so schools shootings are in this universe are at an all-time, or not all-time low, but are going down. They're going down because for a year now already, 2 years now already, there's already been these provisos that prevent the things that lead to gun violence among children. For example, to have funding for red flag programs in schools, where schools can register if they detect red flags for gun violence among the students. And then the students who get 3 red flags, the police show up at their door and confiscate all the kids' guns,
Okay.
or assess the access that child has to guns.
Okay.
Right? That's
All
a
right.
standard. That's a thing that research has shown can dramatically reduce gun violence in schools, is his red flag laws. And so this provided the money for there to be red flag laws across the whole country, for example.
Sweet.
And other things too, but specifically everything was just to try to protect children from guns. So we can help the climate. We can put in provisos to protect children from gun violence, and then children also suffer. We can keep the child the child credit, which
Yeah.
reduced child poverty by 50%. But we need to get child poverty down completely. We need to eliminate child poverty entirely in order to have this Bill of Rights. So we have to
Rich-
get rid of that other 50%
want
of
rich
child
children.
poverty. Well, we want healthy children for sure. I don't know.
Super rich, like Richie Rich
That's
style.
what you're hearing. Yeah. Blank check.
Yeah. Like they can't get their wallet closed because it's full of so many dollar bills. Yeah, those type.
What kind of bling do these children have? I mean, what are they? I guess like Pokemon bling, maybe some. Am I dating myself now? Are kids still doing Pokemon?
Do kids have the right to wear bling in the new Bill of Rights, in the Kids Bill of Rights?
That's one of the main bill. That's one of the main things.
That's the every kid gets a grill. Like a full,
Yeah, just like Kanye grill, full teeth
full.
grill.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Well, okay,
so,
so
we have
this
to get
is-
rid of the other half. Okay, go ahead.
So wait. So this is cool. You showed me this really cool place. I assume I have to go home at some point to
We have
my
to go home,
universe.
Yeah, you don't want to meet you here. He's
And the-
very successful.
you
Scott
said
in
this-
this universe, he's like Lambos and just
Lambos.
crazy. I think if
Is
you
he a tiny human? How does he fit inside?
No.
of them? That
they
would be
make
a-
custom Lambos for him that fit his enormous body.
Wow, that is
Yeah,
important.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, custom
Yeah.
Lambo.
I think if you stayed in this universe, we'd have a Ripley scenario. Have you been watching Ripley on Netflix?
No, I have not.
It's a retelling of the movie, or the book, The Talented Mr. Ripley. So it's about,
oh,
yeah. So this would definitely be a Ripley scenario. You would be like, well, hey, Mr. Maupin, and he'd be like, "You look just like me." And then he'd put a bag over his head.
I thought you were
Drag
gonna.
him
I thought it
away.
was gonna be a Ripley scenario where the other me like opens his mouth real wide, and then like another tiny mouth comes out, and then
Just-
that mouth opens up.
Not just
Yeah.
a mouth, a whole nother Scott head, a tiny little Scott
Yeah,
head.
and then
comes
that
out.
mouth opens up. It's like that. But I think we're talking about different Ripleys. I think that's.
I think that
possible.
tiny little Scott head, would open up his mouth and be like, "Oh, hey man, you want to go do some Brazilian jiu-jitsu?"
No. The tiny little Scott head would just say, "Bro." You would say, "Bro,
bro,
bruh,"
bruh.
and then it would eat you.
That's a different Ripley. That's the alien Ripley.
That's
I'm
the
talking
alien Ripley.
Talented Mr. Ripley,
Yes,
which is very good on Netflix these days.
I'm talking
black
about
and white.
Ms.
Very
Ripley. Honestly, I'm being more
Yes.
progressive, but
Yes.
you could talk about Mr. Ripley if you want to.
Talented. Very.
Is it good? It's black and white. Is that?
It's
do you
good.
notice?
It's good. I think it starts out a little bit. The cinematography, they were wrangling, I think, how to do it right in the first episode, but then it settles down and gets really good after that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Great.
They still sometimes make it a little bit too sharp, and you can kind of tell that it's like digital and they just made it black and white. But they often muddy it up enough so that it looks good.
Sweet.
Yeah. But okay, so yeah.
So what are we gonna do?
You have to go back to our universe. In our universe,
said this
people
started-
don't care about children.
Wait, you said
The
this.
Republicans steal a lot of votes from the Democrats by convincing people in the American public that they actually care about children because they hate trans people or something. Like they don't actually do anything to actually help children. They don't increase funding for children's lunches or increase funding for children's education
Right.
or increase
Right,
funding
right,
for
right.
children's care or their health care or their child care. No, they don't do any of that. They just say trans people are dangerous for your children.
Okay.
Which somehow then makes them seem like they're the moral like children protectors. It's very strange.
What? So you said this all started back at the Build Back Better time. What?
Yeah,
When,
so-
when are we talking? Is that
So
20,
that was 2020.
2020?
And they were trying to, so our world did Build Back Better. Their world did, or universe did
Child Bill of Rights.
Children's Bill of Rights. So they came forward, and Biden.
So it's not too late.
And
It's
Bernie,
only been 4 years.
Bernie and Biden both went out and they both said, we are presenting Biden presented it first and then Bernie presented it after. Bernie was included a lot in it, but also right-wing children protector people were included in it.
Right.
People who say, I stand for family values and children and da-da-da. They even put things in there that maybe are a little bit more kind of right-wing, like money for churches to provide care to children, like child care and da-da-da-da. It's like, I don't know. The left-wing people might not be super happy with like churches providing like Christian child care, but they still put it in there because they wanted to create that we're going to help children in a right-wing and a left-wing way. So it's very kind of open-minded.
Interesting. Okay, so how do we start? We have to
we're gonna
rally
bring this
those
home?
forces.
Well, wait, I got to talk
Right.
about one more thing they did that was really smart, because the child tax credit, which
All right.
in COVID gave like something like $800 or something like $3,000 or $4,000 per kid per family per year back through a tax credit.
Okay.
And that the projections were that would reduce child poverty by 50%. So if they made that permanent, child poverty is still at 50%. We need to get it to 0.
Right.
So this provision also identified key things that keep children in child poverty, which has to do with homeless, rent support.
They're bad at
food
gambling,
stamps,
probably.
being bad at this is children's gambling lessons is a key proviso.
Oh, yeah.
Key section
They make
of this.
foolish bets, and you're like, you
Fools.
child,
Fools.
you absolute child.
Fools! What are you doing? That's right. So, for example, rent support is one of the best ways to keep people housed. So people generally who become unhoused, they become unhoused because they're living paycheck to paycheck, and then something happens and they have to pay for that, and then they
The
can't
rent
make
is
their
a
rent.
huge chunk.
Right.
Yeah.
So what they did was say, we should provide this for everyone, but because the Democrats wanted to create a children's Bill of Rights, if you have a child, there is a federal rent support money you can get. And all you have to
Do you
do
think
is send in, I need to pay my rent, and here's my children. Here's my proof I have children. Here's my bank account. I don't have any money. I need to make rent. Can I get the rent support? And they put you on the rent support for a year, no questions asked, because keeping the child homed is so important, and that child has a right to housing. You must support the parent who has children.
Okay.
With the rent support. But it's not like, welfare, you just have kids, you just get money, because that creates what in the right wing considers.
But it does seem like an attractive
and stuff.
Offer, because you basically get a year of free rent. Is what you're saying.
No, it's not free. It's just subsidized. It's just
how do you mean subsidized?
It's just like if your rent is $1,000 a month, you'd get $300.
Okay.
It's not like free rent. Yeah.
Oh, well then I would want to do that too, because I could do better
if you could qualify for it, you get it.
Yeah. How would I qualify? Because I'll do this.
You'd have to submit. Well, it's on this unit. Well, in our universe, it doesn't exist.
We want it though.
Yeah.
So what would I do hypothetically?
So this I don't know exactly, but I know that I read the book Evicted, which is quite a good book about homelessness.
Okay.
And at the very end of that book, he actually talks about solutions. Like the whole book is just kind of like poverty pornography. Like he just describes people, super, super poor people living in horrible conditions. Cool. But then at the very, 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 very end, he actually says, like in 25 pages at the end, he's like, okay, here's actually what we could do to solve homelessness. And one of his key things, he said the number one thing that he recommends is this rent support. And so it's been done. This is a problem that's already been solved. How it operates, how exactly it works, it's all been solved.
Gotcha.
And it works really well to keep people homed. And it doesn't create, welfare queens. It doesn't create bad incentives or whatever.
Nice.
But now we're going to just limit it to just children, because it's the rights of children to have a home. The deadbeat dad, might be a deadbeat. We're not going to try to keep deadbeat dads.
Should we make the child live by themselves, like in their own place?
Yeah, little kid homes,
like those tiny houses that they have in people's
because for
backyards.
A kid, that's a huge house.
Tiny house for children.
Tiny house for children.
Little tiny house villages for.
And then their parents can like visit them.
If they
not live there.
If they're cool enough, but these kids are like rich. They're not in the poverty zone anymore.
Right, exactly. And then the same thing for food stamps, and the same thing for food stamps,
necessities,
education support, necessities,
utilities.
Healthcare is already pretty well protected for kids through Medicaid, not Medicare, but Medicaid, which is for poor people, but it's also for children. So pretty much children have already pretty much free healthcare through socialized healthcare through Medicaid.
Cool.
But this bill goes further and beefed up those supports for children and Medicaid.
Because it gives the kids steroids, so there's like extra help. They're going to be
children
ripped.
That's what
children are going to be lifting cars and throwing
We're walking around this universe, and we are just very impressed with the guns on these children. Not handguns. We've already removed the handguns from children, but the biceps, the triceps.
Yeah. I've got my own team of like X-Men that I carry with me to like take care of any sort of a situation that arises.
They have 3D deltoids, front deltoid, side deltoid, and even that back deltoid. Mm-hmm. I mean, those shoulders are impressive.
We're talking like a full-on Stephen Platt drawing, like Prophet just right in his heyday, pouches everywhere.
Pouches.
This reference makes sense to very few people, but if you get
pouches. They have pouches. Yeah, no, these kids are ripped, and that's largely because of this bill giving them strength training. But yeah, anyways, okay, so that drove child poverty in America, projected to drive child poverty in America down to 0.
Good.
So this childhood bill of rights, housing, no childhood poverty, improve their health care, and then childcare, universal childcare. Okay, so a child who doesn't get adequate childcare isn't healthy, isn't safe.
Yeah, and a family that doesn't have childcare sometimes can't have someone work a job and hold down a stable living.
Exactly. So it includes universal childcare, and it includes maternity and paternity paid leave. Look at that. Because the child has a right to the parent, not the parent has a right to paternity and maternity leave. That is not the right way to do it in America, because in America, people don't care about the parents. They think the parents are just dirtbags. They don't care. But people care about children. So what you say is, this is the Children's Bill of Rights. The child has a right to their mother being there for the first 6 months of their life. The child has a right to their father being there for the first 6 months of their life. Therefore, each mother and father deserve 6 months or whatever it is. I think 6 months would be a minimum. 6 months paid maternity, paternity leave.
Okay.
Use it or lose it. Can't transfer it. The father can't transfer it to the mother, blah, 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 blah. So that's the Children's Bill of Rights. They made compromises. They got whittled things down. They wanted more gun control. That got whittled down. They wanted more health care. That got whittled down. It got whittled down. But by and large, they eliminated child poverty, and they made childhood in America safer, healthier, and better.
And now their streets are overrun with children.
It's horrible.
They don't know what to do.
These children need to be stopped.
Running into them on their cars everywhere because they're just flooding. They can't control them.
How can you miss them? I mean, how can you not hit them? Yeah.
Ugh.
Child infestation.
Okay.
Right.
So we need something else. How are we going to fix? Well, I guess it's not our universe, right?
They have to make another law. Yeah.
Child bill of fewer rights.
It's more like increasing the rights to hit them with your car. That's what they do. Yeah. That's this universe though. They're weird here.
You just need you need an automobile bill of rights, and then the car has the right self-defense.
Self-defense against small children. The 2-ton automobile has
actually this is bad topic.
This might sell. Lucy K's, never mind, I won't say Lucy K's joke about murdering children.
Is bad. This is actually bad.
See, because people don't like murdering children. This is why you use the Children's Bill of Rights.
Particularly bad right now. This is bad.
Oh, really? Did children just get hit by a car?
No, but there were recent children stuff.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't watch the news.
It's okay.
So I'm just ignorant. Anyways, yeah, so this is what they did. Isn't this clever? So the Democrats, not only did they get across this raft of policies that support, a sort of freer, safer form of life for children, but they also established themselves unequivocally as the party of children and families, by extension, families. And that lets them then cruise into political debates across America in suburban areas, in rural areas, as well as in urban areas where they already dominate. They are mopping up because of that.
Cool. Well,
yeah,
I'm sure nothing would go wrong from a lopsided political structure, but we haven't had one in a while, really. It's been kind of, even though I feel like the demographic of the population is pretty lopsided, one-sided toward the other, then it feels like I think the political thing is they always want to keep it even for some reason, which is frustrating.
Even how?
Like they just wanted to always be like 50-50, to be like nobody has a dominant.
They want it that way? No, Democrats want to win. Republicans want to win. They want to totally take over if they could. I know
both sides want to, but like it seems like I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying.
You think there's a smoke-filled room full of lizard men?
No, I don't think there's a smoke-filled, but I'm saying like there's a feeling that it should be half and half so that neither side can really just run the table on the other side, despite just like there's going to be something wrong with giving too much power to either side. But
I mean, the Democrats ran the table for 20 years. I mean, from Clinton all the way through, Clinton through Obama, they just rocked. Clinton was George Bush in the middle.
Yeah.
But for Clinton, for 8 years, he had like super majorities and president and, So, I mean, there's been times where people have power, and they have power when they better serve the people. That's the democracy. Yeah. So when the parties find a way to communicate with the people in such a way that they can serve the people, then they win. And I think the Democrats especially are missing the boat here right now on people's. I think we're starting to live in sort of the Children of Men. Have you seen that movie?
Yes.
I think we're kind of in the Children of Men already because the birth rate is so low among so many people that we're already starting to think of children. Like in Children of Men, remember we're like children and Children of Men were like these precious things that like everybody was like really careful with and cared about. I feel like we're getting to that. I mean, it's proportional, but we're kind of getting to that point Whereas 100 years ago, it was like children, they just work on farms and factories and like, who cares? They're everywhere. Everyone has 10 children. Who cares? Like
and
they're
the
not precious. They don't
mortality
have.
rate was a lot.
Yeah, and they
back then,
died.
you
Right.
know.
But now it's like, oh, people are only going to have like 1 to 3 children, right?
Yeah.
And 3 is like a lot already. So like 1 or 2.
Too
So if a
expensive,
kid
honestly.
dies or if a kid's in trouble or
It's
if
too
anything,
expensive. It's
yeah.
too much trouble.
and people
Go on.
now are also starting to get awake to the idea that we might not have so whereas some parts of the world have an overpopulation problem, other parts of the world have an underpopulation part of the problem. And that's the case in some parts regionally of the United States, and obviously totally in Korea and Italy and various places where the population's extremely falling off a cliff. I don't want to get into all the questions around that, but that's still something that this can speak to. I don't think you want to address that in this bill because there's no reason to. In America, we have immigration and we have plenty of birth overall average over everyone. But I think it speaks to that issue for populations who are concerned about that. You can say, we're going to support children. We're going to make it easier to have children for people, make children's lives safer and better, which makes the parents less, more comfortable having 1 more or 2 more children than they have.
What about subsidizing plastic surgery?
Okay.
For all young people, I'm saying,
in order to increase their sexual prowess, sexual desirability.
Right. Everyone's a super hot, a super hot hunky man or lady. Or
remember how we said we're going to give the weight training lessons to the kids? That means when they're older, already got it. Boom.
But I'm saying, would you have more kids if
you're hotter?
Well, if your partner's hotter, you know what I'm saying? Like if both of you are hotter, then are you
play this all the way out for me, Scott?
Well, I'm saying then maybe you engage in the act which brings about the production of children at a more frequent.
I think people just do it as the same amount, don't they? Hotter people to hot, maybe they do.
I don't have a lot.
Hard bodies.
I don't take a lot of data on this.
Hard bodies heaving in the night. I don't know. I don't know what the research says about that. We'd have to run a study, Scott.
Let's run a study. Surgery, all right?
You don't need it, Scott. You're beefy. You're strong and thin. Look at you.
No idea. I want to have extra arms put on.
Well, that's not plastic surgery. That's science
I want one
fiction.
of those rat ear, like the ears, like they put on the backs of rats. I want one of those on my back. I'm an audio guy.
A giant ear or a small one?
Oh, I want a
like
giant
a human-sized one, or you want proportional to the rat's body,
proportional
like
to the way it looks like on the rats that they graft them on.
Okay, apropos of this conversation, I just want to tell you, Scott, that this will not increase your creation of progeny, though. This will not increase the sexual.
Wait, the giant ear on my back part?
I don't think that's like a thing right now. That's not trendy. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying right now it's not the trend.
Oh, well, I was thinking it would be really good to hear all the compliments for people talking about how cool the
behind
ear
your
on my back looks.
Yeah, behind your back.
Like, do you see this guy? He's got a giant ear on his back. That is really cool. Like, I wish I'll
that
be
last
listening.
part. So wait, the ear can actually hear too? It's not just like a
it doesn't
form factor.
It doesn't obviously connect to my eardrums, but it has like a membrane that would.
There's another inner ear in your back.
Yeah, it's called a spinal cord.
And is it proportional
that
to
it would? I assume that there would be a thin membrane
just to the spinal cord.
The sound would vibrate the base of my spinal cord.
Okay.
At which point it would transfer
up to your brain.
I'm not a doctor, Adam. All right, and you're not either. No offense, you're not a doctor either.
Now you're throwing stones.
Everyone in your family is, but not you. So
hey, now that hurts.
Look at this.
That hurts. I'm working hard towards my doctorate in eardrumology.
Well, when you get done, then we can finally complete my back ear dream.
Okay, I will tell you once I have a degree in philosophy, and then you can come over and we will install a rat ear on your back.
Here's my big move. This is my big move with the ladies. I'll be like, would you like me to lend you an ear? And they'll say yes. And then I'll pull my shirt off real fast. And I'll be like, turn around. I'll be like, look at this ear. And then I'll hear I'll hear really well. What I'll hear is like, tip, 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 tip.
Is that them going to put on lingerie?
That was the running away.
They're like, let me go put on something more comfortable,
that was
man.
The speedy getaway of fast footsteps retreating in a run.
You can be like, they say size matters, so check out this big boy.
Oh,
And they're
yeah.
like, ooh, and then it's a giant ear back, and they're like, oh my God. Although some people might be sexually into ears, and you'd have that subculture just on lock. You'd be like their god.
Totally.
You'd be
I
their
would slide
god.
up to lady. I'd be like, "Do you like Nickelback?" And they'd be like, "Ew, no." And I'd be like, okay. Well, my segue was gonna go off of you saying, never mind. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.
How about ear back?
Yeah, that's where I was going.
Okay, Scott.
Yes.
We did it. We saw the universe. So how was that? How was that traveling to the other universe?
A little weird. You know,
Yeah,
I don't
it's all
mind.
the same.
Do I get any frequent flyer miles? No, I guess not, because same longitude, latitude.
Same longitude. Yep. You didn't travel a single mile, not even a single inch.
It was not bad. I think we could do it here. We just have to start by positioning, like you say.
Yeah.
So
children.
very fun.
You didn't bring up what I thought you would, which is the Democrats going to have a hard time being pro-choice and then try to claim that they're pro-children. I think the Republicans would try to rub their noses in that and say, "Oh, you're killing babies."
Oh,
but then you're claiming to be pro-child. So here's the other provision I would add to this thing. So here's the other provision.
Cool.
Identify the causes of abortion. Societal causes of abortion.
Right.
And then actually put into this bill money to reduce those causes. So you're saying we're going to leave it, legal and open and anyone can get an abortion. But what actually causes people to have abortions? Lack of contraception. Lack of training, sex ed training, lack of ability to pay for another kid, right? With this would all help, right? So you could even tell the people who are pro-life, hey, we agree with you. We think abortion is bad, but we don't want to make it illegal, but we do want to make less of it happen. And therefore, we have this whole part of this bill in there to reduce the number of abortions. We think this will reduce the number of abortions significantly. So I think you could actually still swing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyways, we did it. All right.
Sounds good.
We'll come on back.
We'll do it again next week.
All right. Thanks everybody for coming along on the ride along episode. All right. Bye everybody. Hey there, thanks for listening to that episode of Solutions from the Multiverse.
Yeah, we're back with a little after roll. Hello.
Hey, after roll. Roll that after roll. So basically, we want you to subscribe.
Yeah.
And rate and review. And tell someone, take your favorite solution and send it to someone who you think it would blow their mind to hear it.
Yeah, we love making the show. We're proud of it. And we're excited. We want other people to show. We know that the main way people find podcasts is word of mouth. I know that's true for me. I listen to my friends who also listen to podcasts tell me about ones, and I go, okay, I'm cluing into that. So we want to be part of that chain.
So thanks for being a part of Solutions.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again real soon.
Bye.
Bye.